Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at a Landsknecht Emporium war knife, or sometimes referred to as a messer. This is the Rutger. Comes with an integrated scabbard or sheath with a sword belt, and this thing is a beast. I think there's some specs, up close looks, and some cutting with the Rutger. Okay, before going into the specs of the actual sword or war knife, take a look at this handcrafted, hand-stitched scabbard. That's the back of it. This is just tied around. Got these are brass, and they have washers on the back in order to keep the quality high and keep the leather from tearing. So high quality brass on that. There's multiple loops on here so that you can run this. You could punch another hole or two in here, but I doubt, because it would be so small that there's no way that. Don't give your kid the Rutger and have him run around with it. But for like a full grown, like an adult, you don't need to put any more holes in it. So this, I said scabbard in the intro, but it's really a sheath because this is thick leather, so it's not, there's no wood in it at all. But don't let that confuse you that this is like low quality. The stuff that Landsknecht Emporium does is really high quality, and the leather around this, the way they folded this over, is thick. I don't think there's anything inside of here other than the leather itself folded over. But either way, I'm going to wear this in the up-close look so you can see what it looks like when you're actually wearing the Rutger. So this is in the category of a war knife. It's essentially the same length as what you would see very commonly for arming swords. It is a single edge though, and this thing is thick with 2 C's. This thing is thick. It's got a thick old tang on it, as you can see, and it does taper up to being more narrow toward the tip. Obviously, I'm going to put what the dimensions are on that, the millimeters thickness on the right below here, so you can see that. But it is a single edge with no false edge and no top edge or anything like that. So there's nothing on the back here. It's just a single edge with a good tip on it. It's a 6150 high carbon steel blade. This has a pommel integrated into it that's peened, and I like having a little bit of a hook, so that way it just has that retention on it, because this thing has quite a bit of meat to it. So this is definitely more of a hacker, you know, a hacking type of blade, a chopping type of blade, and obviously you've got all your direct thrusts, obviously. It's in the war knife category, so it's just like very bare bones. The guard that you see here, they're smart, and they didn't sharpen this part, which you can tell when people who actually want people to actually use these for fencing training and like want it to be accurate, they usually don't sharpen this part because, you know, if that does skip, you don't want to be going right into a razor blade. So that is legit. That's how it's supposed to be. So that's all locked in. The nail is really interesting on this. So this is my opinion of it. So this nail, which is this dot that I'm talking about, it's not there so that, you know, protect your hand in binds or anything from parries, because that ain't gonna do anything. I mean, you might get lucky if it glanced off and you recovered your blade, but on direct impact, there's no way. This is so this is so your hand doesn't run up this if you're thrusting or if you're following through on cutting. It's it's there for retention for you, so you keep this thing in your freaking hand. So it's an interesting design. I don't think you should hammer grip with this. So a straight up hammer grip, it doesn't seem to really work. I think a modified saber grip actually feels best, but keep in mind, like, you know, this is at your own discretion. This is my opinion, but I kind of like biting into that where my thumb is overlapped. This is okay too, but I tend to like this better. I just feel like I have a lot more control over it this way. You can also go into the hammer grip where the thumb is closed and then kind of drop it forward where the thumb is a little bit more extended. I think somewhere around there between, you know, that modified saber with the pinch and then dropping into hammer and then letting it come forward a little bit. I think somewhere in between those can have a lot of benefit for how you're going to make this handle comfortable. It's sharp. It's a very dense handle. It's got a really thick tang to it. 6150 high carbon steel is a good high carbon steel. You know, got a quality one with that. And it's overall just a really unique set with the actual war knife itself and also the integrated sheath and sword belt. So that's what I have to say about it. Those are my first impressions. I like it. I like what LE does. So I've done a lot of reviews of their stuff. I don't have any paid partnerships or anything with them. This is all their stuff is through KOA, and I've always been pleasantly surprised. So, okay, let's do some up close looks at this one in the scabbard and out of the scabbard. Overall length, 33 3/8 of an inch. Blade length, 28 1/4 inches. Weight, 2 pounds 1 ounce with a very sharp edge. The width is 50 millimeters with a thickness that goes from 7.6 millimeters toward the handle down to 2.4 millimeters toward the tip. Pommel is peened and integrated with a point of balance at 5 3/4 inches from the guard. Grip length of 5 1/4 inches. Blade steel is a 6150 high carbon steel manufactured by Landsknecht Emporium. Alright, here's the belt. I'm intentionally wearing this outside of the belt loops purely for visual. It's a thinner belt. Here's a little bit better visual of it without the sword in the scabbard and the sheath. And I know it's a little bit crooked here, but it's just so you can see it better. That way if you're going to pick this one up, you know what the belt's going to look like. And then obviously with the sword in there, draws out really nicely. This sheath is a really nice thick leather. Here's what it looks like when you're wearing the sheath with the Rutger in hand. And then simply a couple more up close looks and spinning around so you can get a good visual on it. And one more draw out of the sheath. Alright, now that we took a look at the up close looks of this one in the sheath and out of the sheath, let's take a look at the cut testing. I used water bottles this time because we're completely out of tatami mats. So let's take a look. Thanks for joining me for this review of the Rutger from Landsknecht Emporium. Make sure to check out their stuff on our YouTube channel of other reviews that I've done. They have some really unique stuff from Kriegmessers to Messers, other types of war knives, and also daggers as well. Just some really unique stuff that not a lot of people are doing at all. So to buy this one, click the link in the description below this video to buy this one today and check out LE's stuff on our website. Let me know what you think of the Rutger in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, follow us on TikTok and on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next one.